Happy New Year, folks. It's 2020, January the 1st, and today is the opening of the Cabin Fever Challenge. This is a competition that has been going on since approximately 2014. It is a video competition of you demonstrating specific shooting skills, and these are positional shooting skills. The Cabin Fever Challenge. The Cabin Fever Challenge is a celebration of the skills of our ancestors. The one thing we can share with them is the skill achieved through marksmanship. So it's essentially what we're trying to do is to develop kind of an annual proficiency level so that you can keep your finger on the pulse of where your particular marksmanship is, and also to get new shooters involved and coach them and mentor them and teach them in developing their positional shooting. What is positional shooting? Positional shooting is standing, kneeling, prone, unsupported, and sitting positions in that order. We'll get into it a little bit more. Again, the competition opens today, January the 1st, 2020, and it ends March 31st, 2020. So it's a total of 3 months. And the reason why it's so long is because everybody's schedules are different. Trying to get the time maybe off of work or whatever your busy schedule or situation is to be able to get out and shoot this 20-round match in winter conditions. And in this case, it's not only going to be winter conditions. It just happens to be winter here in North America. However, we do have shooters in Austria and Germany, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Australia that pitch in. And so it doesn't matter whether you're in a fiery hot hellhole or somewhere in the Arctic, you can go out and shoot this. Wide extremes of temperature from very, very hot places in the world to very, very cold places in the world and shoot this match. Now, there's a few considerations that we're going to go through. I'm just going to go through the rules really very quickly for you to give you a bit of an idea. So considerations. Safety is rule number 1. And if you can't shoot the Cabin Fever Challenge safely yourself, then I encourage you not to do it. What I recommend is that you go out and you find yourself a qualified coach or somebody that you know is well versed in the art of musketry, and get them to give you a few pointers, right? It's got to be safe. You got to be able to ensure that the muzzle of that firearm doesn't stay out of your left or right arcs. It should always be pointing in the direction of the target while you're engaging it, especially in between positions while you're conducting your reloads. I'll get into that later. Secondly, do not nominate somebody unless they have the skills and drills to be safe. So throughout this competition, when you shoot it, once you complete it, you thereby have the opportunity to actually nominate somebody else to go out and shoot it. Make sure that person has the skills and drills to also be safe. Okay? Don't be nominating somebody who's green or isn't going to be able to do this without being unsafe. I remember rule number 1 out of everything, the rule that trumps everything is safety. Other things for you to take into consideration is that if you're going to nominate somebody, you might want to talk to them in advance and see whether or not they would accept. Because putting a video out on YouTube or something to that effect, because all submissions are going to be a video submission of you shooting the match. Okay, so if you're going to nominate somebody on a YouTube video or a Vimeo video or a Facebook video, maybe talk to them in advance and see if they would accept, because maybe they don't want the public attention. Right, that's a good way of doing it. So the date opens today, January 1st, closes March 31st, 2020. All of the information that pertains to this particular match is located on our Facebook group at Cabin Fever Challenge. At Cabin Fever Challenge. Centerfire cartridge rifles only, or muzzle loaders, which is a new classification for the year 2020, is a muzzleloader rifle classification. There are no rimfire cartridges available for this, for this match. Centerfire cartridge only, or muzzle loaders. Children may shoot, but only under the direct supervision and safety, like basically a range safety officer for the child. And again, if they can't do it safely, then do not ask them to participate. Okay, but children may shoot, but only under the direct supervision of a responsible adult. Now, when I was 13 years old, I was I was already in shooting competitions, and I was basically categorized with the adults because I was that good. So I realized that there are some children out there who have the skills and drills to be able to do something like this safely, but they do require a responsible adult to participate. There are a total of 5 classes, excuse me. Class 1. Now, here's the thing, guys, is that I've been putting out these Cabin Fever Challenge introduction videos since 2014. Some of the rules have changed since then. So I was thinking, geez, there's enough videos out there. They should be able to just watch one of them and be good enough. But no, because the rules have actually been changed over the years, we're gonna review this stuff anyways. Basically, consider this to be a safety pre-work before you go out and do it. So a total of 5 classes. Class 1 is vintage semi-automatic rifles, and they're considered to be in their original condition. For example, if you're going to be shooting an SKS, it would be in the configuration of an SKS that would have been issued maybe to a Chinese soldier or something to that effect. Okay. So they have to be original, and they have to be vintage, which means essentially 1958 or younger, so far as the original receiver design was invented. For example, VZ58 or VZ858, M305, M10A, AG42, VZ52, 57, the SKS, M1 carbines, M1 Grands, SAFN, the Model 49s, or maybe even a stock AK-47 or AK-74 if you're in the United States. A country where liberty and freedom still exists. Class number 2 is Modern Unlimited, which is essentially pretty much your modern rifles, the BCL 102, Stag 10, WK 180, AR-15s. All AR-15s fall within the unlimited classification. Even if they're essentially only a rack grade stock rifle, they fall within this classification. The Tavor, Swiss Arms, XCR, FAMI 542, the T97, the SL8, or any tricked out vintage classified rifles. For example, if it would have been an SKS, if you put a Tapco stock on it and detachable magazines, you've essentially pimped your rifle. You've modded or tricked it out, and so therefore it would qualify under the modern or unlimited classification, if that makes sense to you. Is everybody still with me? Stand up, take a break, stretch, get a glass of water. Class 3, remember this, a total of 5 classes. Class 3 are all of your manually operated rifles, so bolt actions, lever rifles, pump actions, all those kinds of things. Class 4 are single shot, so essentially break actions. Some bolt actions qualify as single shots, but only if they're built to be a single shot. So break actions and generally falling blocks fall within this category, like a Ruger No. 1 or a Sharps rifle or a Martini Henry, if you get where I am. And then class number 5, which is the very first time in its inception of our history as a match, muzzle loaders will be included. Now the rules are going to be a little bit different for muzzle loaders, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So if you're not sure where your rifle qualifies, contact us at the Cabin Fever Facebook group. We have a total of 5 moderators that are on that Facebook group, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If you're not sure where your rifle kind of falls within the 5 classifications. So positions, remember this is positional shooting. This is standing, 5 rounds. This is kneeling, 5 rounds. Prone, 5 rounds. And sitting, 5 rounds, in that order, with a mandatory reload in between each position. All positions will be unsupported, which means no bipods or rests are permitted at any time throughout the match. And a sling may be used. You may use that as a hasty sling. It's not really considering that to be a rested position. If you use a sling, if you choose to use a sling, go ahead, you can do it. So long as they're not one of those match slings for connected to the forward sling swivel like you used to see back in the old days, right? Just a proper normal sling, not a match sling. Ammunition and reloading for classifications 1 to 4. All ammunition must be centerfire primed ammunition. Okay, again, a total of 20 rounds. 5 rounds standing, 5 rounds kneeling, 5 rounds prone, 5 rounds sitting, and a mandatory 5-round reload in between each position. The only difference here is that for classification 5 as muzzleloaders, you're only going to need to reload once in between all of those 4 different positions. So a total of 4 rounds for muzzleloaders. By the way, all of these rules can be downloaded and printed off from the at Cabin Fever Facebook group. There's a target which we'll also get into a little bit later. Scoring time is calculated from the first shot fired to the last shot fired. So you need to be able to time your shooting. All right. Obviously, there's going to be a formula at foot here as it applies to how we calculate your score. Bullet impacts that break the line, which is basically an 8-inch circle at 100 meters. Again, muzzleloaders are only going to be at 50 meters. But all of the first 4 classifications, 1, 2, 3, 4, are going to be at 100 meters, and you're shooting at an 8-inch target, which is the match target, which is free for you to download and print off. So time is calculated from the first shot fired to the last shot fired. Bullet impacts that break the line for the 8-inch circle count for score. Score is 5 points per shot on an 8-inch diameter circle. Bullets that cut the perimeter of the circle count as hits, and bullets outside the circle are misses. And the score is hits on target times 5 divided by your time in seconds times 100. Okay? Nominations. We talked about that already, but once you've completed the match, you can nominate somebody. Again, please do not nominate people that do not possess the skills and drills to be safe, or at least if you do have the skills and drills to be safe, you can supervise them. We want new shooters, but they may need coaching and guidance, and it's an opportunity for us to get new shooters involved, coach and mentor them, and build them up and prepare them for success. Again, you may want to take into consideration if they are new shooters, not to set them up with a rifle with a tremendous amount of recoil. It all comes up to them and where the comfort level's up, but we're here to help people, not hurt them, right? Until they have the skills and drills and the positional shooting down. Maybe start them off with a pistol rifle cartridge in a rifle, if you know what I mean. Deadlines. The closing date for the match is March 31st, 2020. Now, the honor system. Because this is essentially an unsupervised competition where you're going to be observing individual safety precautions, so there may not necessarily be group safety precautions being applied as you would see on a conventional rifle range at an approved club. These are all going to be individual safety precautions, and the honor system does apply. So submissions with scores that are suspected of being fraudulent, which means that you haven't been terribly honest, or maybe you have a .30 caliber pencil as you were scoring your target. We've never had that problem in the past. It has never been a real concern for us. However, different people, right? Different people that will do absolutely everything that they can to win, even if it means pushing the limits a little bit here and there. So if the umpires or the moderators suspect that a target may be fraudulent, it will be reviewed and assessed by all of the match umpires. A decision and a rationale will be provided to the shooter if their target is not accepted. A clear view of your target must be included in your video submissions. We want to see the bullet strikes, and if you can, in your video, walk us through so we can clearly, okay, there's an enlarged hole there. There's actually 2 bullet strikes through that hole. Okay, walk us through. Count every single one of the hits and count where the misses are, okay? When you're actually evaluating your score, make that part of your video. It makes it so much easier for the umpires. Okay? And please use the provided target. Submissions, your video submissions, competitors may submit 1 attempt per classification. So if there's a total of 5 classifications, you could conceivably enter the competition 5 times, but only once per classification. You don't have to shoot the competition cold. You can be sitting there shooting all day. You could have shot this 5 times in one day. Okay, and you videoed every single one of them. Take the one that you scored the best on. Okay? Upload your submission, or you can edit your video and you can upload it to YouTube or Facebook or Vimeo or to an FTP site, so long as the moderators are able to download it. Okay, make it downloadable so that we can download it. And if you want to keep your submissions secret, which means that they're not plastered all over YouTube, that's fine. You can make them limited access, just provide us with the links and we can take it from there. However, by entering the competition, you give us permission to actually download and use your video. You may be actually a classification winner. And in those situations, we want to be able to download your video and show what you did, right? Because if you're actually going to win a classification, that means you're actually demonstrating skills in your positional shooting, the way you're breathing, the way you're engaging that trigger, that new or younger shooters are going to observe and learn from. So we want to be able to share your demonstration of your marksmanship, right? As a lesson for all of us. Some of the shooting is absolutely exemplary. Okay, so and those people are teachers, and we should appreciate them for entering our competition. Again, make sure the videos are downloadable. And that you assume you give us permission to use them if we decide to use them in the awards video. Okay. Include your classification, your name or your alias, and your score in the write-up for your submission. Post. There's a post on our Facebook group. It's going to be pinned to the top of the page. That's what that's for. Is for you to reply to that with your video link and baseline information, again, name, alias, your score, and your classification, and then post the video link below. Okay. Use the official 8-inch match target, okay, at Cabin Fever Challenge. Make sure you've got printer settings set to, make sure you have fit to page or scale to page turned off. And when you have that, it'll fit beautifully on a little 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper. The circle will be perfectly 8 inches, so don't have scale to fit on. You can also print it on 11 by 17 or as big a piece of paper as you want. Just make sure you have scale to fit off. All right, and the links for all of that I'll provide in the video description below. Responsibility. So submissions that demonstrate poor safety or handling drills are going to be disqualified. If you're being a goofball, if you're being an idiot and you're not being safe, we will not accept your video. We will not accept your score. And again, if it comes down to that, the umpires will review your video and we will give you that feedback. And we'll give you a rationale as to why you've been unsafe. I mean, for example, if you're doing that on a supervised range, you would be disqualified anyway. Okay? Remember, these are individual safety precautions. Safety is rule number 1. You control your muzzle. I'm not going to go into that. You've all received the training. Okay? If you're in Canada, you've already gone through all of these range rules, all the safety precautions, all of that stuff. Follow them. Exemplify them. Right? Teach others how to do it, how to do it safely. So that's some baseboard information for you on the competition. Also, for your interest, since 2014, we have been cataloging all of the winners for each classification over the last, I guess, 6 years now. This will be the 6th year in a row. And so you can download all of this information if you want to know where you think you could be on the standing or kind of what the goals need to be. Okay. Supersede all of these. However, I mean, you just need to know that Mr. Vogel he got 17 hits in 58 seconds for a total score of 146.6, and right now he's the all-time high-scoring shooter for this match. All right, that was using an AR-15, all the way down to myself, which was last year shooting a Tikka CTR in 308, which is classification 3 manual repeating rifles. The all-time high score is 89.5. So we kind of start to figure out where, when you got somebody really good behind the rifle. Not saying that I'm really good, actually, not too bad, but. You can kind of see where the genre of where you kind of need to be in order to be on the podium, okay, for 2020. And all of the winning scores will be included in the Hall of Marksmen, the Roll of Records, however you want to see it. And we'll make sure that the overall highest scores for all winners, for all years combined, are added into the document, so you can see how you've stood across the test of time. Really, really interesting. I think it is. Anyway, So for many of you out there, you realize is that this is being hosted in Canada actually by Americans and by Canadians who are working together to put this competition on. And I want to say thank you to all of our moderators, Riflechair, OreGear, Yandel31, Tudenom, and 3D Video. All of them have YouTube videos or YouTube channels, and they're great. You should go check them out. There's some of the very educational videos out there, whether it's on history or different kind of firearms platforms, different kind of receiver designs, and just kind of unpacking rifles and trying to understand them. Great channels, history related stuff. You know, it's a beautiful spectrum. However, there's kind of a gun control thing going on in Canada right now, where the Liberal government, Trudeau's Liberals, want to make AR-15s illegal, and conceivably, if they actually get their way, this could be the last year or almost the last year that Canadians can shoot AR-15s in a friendly competition. So what I would recommend you do is to get your AR-15s out, Canadians especially, and exemplify that we're not the bad guys. We're not the people in downtown Toronto, the gangbangers shooting up streets and stuff like that. We're lawful citizens, and we're out practicing with our AR-15s in a safe manner, right? It's a fun sport. It's a competition. And that's how we need to think of it. All right? Get out there and have fun. Maple Leaf up, folks.